Welcome to the True You Show, season number 2. My name is Alexandra Deubner. I'm a transformational and empowerment coach from Vienna, Austria. And I'm hosting this show to help you gain insights and find focus and tools to courageously create the career and life you truly love, especially in these challenging times. And I so believe it's possible for you. And today's special guest is Ilona Selke. She's actually now in Bali. I love it. I envy you. Welcome, Ilona.
Hi. I'm tempted to take the camera and turn it around. Last night we had the most magical dark blue sky with the full moon, the super moon, and the palm trees around it. And it's like the picture perfect moment. We have a
wonderful
center here, and it's right here by the ocean that I'm seeing. And further down there are dolphins in the ocean.
Oh,
and
God.
It's on the north shore of Bali. It's called Champala, and it's, it is one of those moments where I said, Don, I want to have an ashram when I get older.
Cool.
So, you do need to pay attention to what you say.
I love it. I love it. I envy you, but I'm happy for you that you're there. Yeah, please go swimming for me, just as a side note, okay? Cool. Ilona, let me quickly also introduce you. You are actually an international best-selling author, a seminar leader, lecturer, musician, and CEO of Living from Vision, a company you've been running with your husband for over 30 years now, as well as the creator and owner of the Shambhala Retreat Center, where you are right now, right?
Yes.
On the North Shore of Bali. And you've inspired thousands of people worldwide to discover the power of their consciousness, to live from their vision, and you're teaching how to apply the quantum principles to create a successful life. I want to hear all about it, Ilona. So happy to have you here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you for making it your effort to spread the word of how we can co-create reality from the inside out.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Can you share a little bit? Can we start by sharing a little bit of your personal story and how you managed to find and follow your true you?
How I managed to find it. I managed to be born to a mom who was incredible and who taught me to do yoga and look into my third eye when I was 5 years old. I was born in the Himalayas, and she'd gone through India, and I think she picked me up there while she was pregnant. And so how did I manage? I had a mom who taught me early on, do what you love to do and money will follow.
Cool.
She didn't expect me to be anything specific. Actually, when I was 15, she suggested I should become a dietary assistant because I was always interested in healthy food and health and that. But then I was 16 and I thought, well, I had some other people who said, keep studying, you elaborate on your abilities later on. And then I wanted to study being an architect, interior decorating, fashion design. Then I discovered philosophy, and I read Rudolf Steiner when I was 17, and
wow.
The autobiography by Yogananda when I was 18. And then I decided that's it. I have to learn more about God, and almost went to a university in America to become a priest.
Really?
Yes, but a Protestant one, And also in Germany, I'd almost applied in Wuppertal to a college training school for pastors. And next I was going to become a Waldorf teacher, and they said, no, go out into the world and have some life experience before you come back and teach anybody anything. So then I thought, sure, let me make some money first, and then, so I became a flight attendant, and I followed my dream. And while I was having these quests as to what I should do, I prayed to God, and I said, God, what should I do? And this is, as much as it sounds funny, really my very first suggestion. Is and I'm sure all of you who are listening, you have a sense for a greater dimension surrounding you. I'm convinced that you wouldn't be here otherwise. That greater force, that field that we may not have a name for, is listening, which is why my book is titled, the last one I wrote, the fourth one, Dream Big. The universe is listening. Now imagine you have a thought. And miracles have happened when people have set out to set a question out. So I set this question out and I said, dear God, what should I do with my life? I really need help. And I remember being on this flight, and I was flying from Baltimore through New York to Frankfurt, and I was studying comparative religions at the time, but I didn't know really, was that it, and what can I do with my life? And on the first part of the flight leg, they call it, I eventually became a flight attendant for a year and a half to make money to go back to study. Somebody said, you really are very adept psychologically. I think you should be a psychologist. Next, I get out in New York, try to change planes. An old man comes up and says, girl, where did you get that coat from? I said, oh, I knitted it myself in high school, while listening to my English teacher. And I was already speaking English fluently by then, because when I was 10, I said, I want to speak fluently English. So this guy says, I'm a famous New York designer, and I can tell when somebody has the talent. I think you should become a fashion designer. So that's, thank you, universe, psychologist and fashion designer. Then I'm on my third leg into Frankfurt now. I'm sitting next to a guy, and he's like, wow, you're amazing the way you ask questions. You should be a journalist. So I had gotten my answers upon a question that I asked the universe. And I'm going to recommend this as the #1 step to follow your dreams. Ask yourself, your higher self, your soul, the universe, God, what is my life for? Because deep down in your soul, there is a desire to become something. Usually, and in having taught a lot of seminars and having taught kids, I have found out kids come back up from these guided meditations on their purpose in life. They say, what are you here for? And they go into this grand dimension of meeting their true self. And they go and meet an inner master, and they get this revelation, what they are here for. And they say, I've got it. I'm so excited. I'm here on earth to share love and more light. Oh. Hallelujah. That's the purpose of life. Period. End of story. Now, as most adults, I wanted to do something more than just shine light and love. I wanted to do something. So this is what adults usually come back with when they do the same guided meditation. Well, I just found out that I need to shine more light and love more and forgive more. And they're like kind of disappointed figuring out the really important thing. Just yesterday, I did a coaching session, and the woman was like going, I don't know if I should do this or that and this and that. And then I'm exhausted and I'm doing so much. And then we just went to a resourcing of her innermost true self to be guided to a deepest understanding of what she really needed to do. And the message to her from her innermost core self was to be centered, to be quiet, to be attuned to the higher force, and to garnish the potency of her consciousness, and then to shine more light and radiate more love.
Wow.
So can you imagine? It is so fundamental to all of us. It's not whether we write another book. Although if you have your hand in writing, write a book. I looked at her and I said, you must have a talent in writing. Have you written poetry? And, yeah, when I was young, I was writing up this and that stories, and I love it, and I said, start that up again. There is something about having talents. They come with our birth date and our birth name. You can do a numerological analysis for free. Go to numerologist.com, read the book by Dan Million, Life You Were Born to Live. And it tells you a lot about the psychological purpose that you've chosen, why you're here. Each number has a different quality. We are sometimes here just to learn how to cooperate harmoniously with others while retaining a sense of stability in ourselves. My job in my numerology is to inspire people. Flat out, I'm here. I'm a number 30. Inspire people, and that can come through arts, words, performances. I could sing, I could dance, I could write, I could speak. But within sharing love and light, that's my talent. Now, my name also shows talents in design. That's why the man said, do design, do this, do that. But fundamentally, what I'm sharing with you now are three things. We come in with a design, a pattern that we take on, a geometric pattern, so to speak, through which we shine our light and our love. That is your talent, the design you are taking on. The other one is your soul evolution and the intensity by which you connect to the source, and the intensity by which you connect with these eyes to the God in everything. And with that intensity, you share love, understanding, and compassion voluntarily. It raises you.
This is incredible. So how, you know, I'm not sure how many people are already, you know, into this, have already knowledge in this field. So how can we start? So I definitely don't. How can we start, you know, to connect more, you know, with our higher self?
With the source. Well, yes. Okay, so I have found, obviously, we on this planet are a little bit as if we're in a Earth school, right? You full well know there are people who just don't get the things you get. And then there are other things that people get that it's like, wow, how do they do that? You know, they have ethics down, they have organization down, they're focused and disciplined, they are always on. How do we do that? So, given that we're in an Earth school, the answer also has to wind up being in different levels, right? So what I've found, my favorite thing was, of course, to get people to meditate and tune in with me and go to higher levels. And long distance, I love doing that, going into higher states. After we're done here, I'm going to do a session with a beloved friend of mine who now has taken that same training into all his clients. But not everybody is there. The other things that I've done and that I've found very effective is the work that I call living from vision. It's work that was based on the work by Dr. Rod Newton and Dr. Vernon Wolf, who developed courses and with whom I worked intimately together in the 1990s. And this course, for example, takes you step by step through connecting with your true desires. Actually, it takes you through 5 weeks, step by step, first on dreaming up what could I dream up, then learning how to deal with problems, then going into how to connect with your ideal higher version, and how to pre-experience success. We don't start with success and ideal in the beginning, because a lot of people probably find it true that from 1 minute to the next, we can lose our temper, we can get upset, hurt, angry, scared. And we need to learn how to deal with negative emotions. But when we have learned a tool, and I know you're going to ask me how to deal with that, so let's save that up. I'll go through some steps of what we can do, right? Okay. But once we've learned tools, since you asked me this other question first, is how can we connect? Fundamentally, we all are of the same spark of creation. So it's within us. And by just simply asking the question, who am I, or what is my truest, highest source, you can make a journey between yourself to the center of creation. As a matter of fact, one of my Wisdom of the Dolphin book was first published under that title, Journey to the Center of Creation. And it's same as my asking the divine universe, what is my purpose? So if you take the same quest, where is my core? What is my true self? Where am I really? It'll take you on a journey. It's not instantly, usually. It's something we all discover layer upon layer in greater details as we mature. So in this Earth School, we have answers that can apply to anybody, but I can take anybody on a guided meditation to meet their ideal self. And I can take the same course for 30 years, which I've done. And 30 years ago, my ideal self had this shape. Now it has this shape. Yeah. So the conception that we build up and the intensity of light that we allow through us grows over time. It evolves with us. The fundamental essence of it is always with us. So when you say, what is our higher self? It is if I were to give you a metaphor, if you say there is a projector that's showing a film on a screen, the higher self could be considered the light bulb that's shining through the film, which then projects your particular choice of self-image. That self-image can be restricted. Like, for example, one of the clients said, well, in my family, we always said, you have to work really hard. And then my mom was always exhausted and my dad, but we worked really hard and we deserved what we earned, you know. That gets transmitted into our ideal self-image. That is then illuminated by that light bulb, our belief systems. And that throws itself on our canvas. And the canvas shows 3D, the entire story of what we believe from this lifetime and other lifetimes. Which is why I said we learn and need to learn tools to begin with of how to address the restrictions in order to open them up, because all forms, even my greatest concept of self, even my most unlimited understanding of self is a form of limitation, is conceived as something. So to get rid of constraints, I think is a useless game. We can aim at conceiving as best as we can and use ever higher antennas. Beyond our mind, our antennas get refined to tap into spaces that go beyond time and space. And from there, we actually then become the light bulb that then shines through whatever version we think we want to emanate and look like.
Wow. This is incredible. So, so how can we, like what would then be the first step for our audience also to unlimit ourselves, or not unlimited is obviously not possible, but, you know, to open up, yeah,
to the greater, greatest. And there is a sense we do achieve those senses of a total expansion or total oneness with everything, the alpha and the omega, but it's always a blip, and it's still conceived by, you know, the brain that is a 3D version of perception. So I like I'm going to give everybody a free gift. In it, you can get a guided meditation for the morning and for the evening to go on a journey to discover the truer parts of yourself. I like to say you can prime the pump. You go into an imaginary scene of beauty, whether that's like a serene temple in the Himalayas or the beach, and go deeply into it and then pretend to become the most luminous self that you can imagine. Now, in doing so, we elaborate on an astral form, so to speak, an energy form. Right? In Qigong, you would call it the Qi body. You emanate more luminosity. And then we access the, you know, that's like the y-axis. And we go up the going to the center of creation axis. And in our mind, aim at a place that is, I say, like a diamond above your head, like 30 centimeters above your head, or a meter, or it could be out in space, a sense of the most refined pinnacle that you can aim for, where all of your focus becomes simultaneously one and goes into expanse. Like it goes like peeking beyond time and space into isness.
Wow.
That's a journey. That's a practice.
Yeah, I just want to say
every single day. Yeah.
How long does that, you know, how long would it take me to achieve that?
Well, honestly, I mean, this is why teachers are good to be with. If you are with someone who can resonate that field, like, you know, when I was just looking at you and we were doing that, I felt you. I felt you meet me in that place, in the field beyond good and evil, in the field beyond duality, like Rumi says. I felt you. I feel you. I still feel you.
Same here.
It's it's when you are activated and another one gets together, it's like zzz, 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 you can feel that. Now, for anybody in the audience, you might get a sense like, I think I can tune in too. For some people, it's like, where is that? And it doesn't really matter. There is no speed competition. You know, I always say, if God really wanted to end this game of manifestation, it would have happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
Apparently, God is having a lot of fun encountering itself again and again, awakening to that untouchable moment of realization of eternity through gazing into its own beloved's eyes. So how long would it take? With a teacher, it's faster. With someone who can resonate, it's easier. But even just knowing about it, it is innately inscribed in the information field, in the Akashic fields. When you ask, you will be given the answer. There will be answers, there will be books you find, there will be people you meet. If you feel so moved, I have people who say, I dreamt of you, I Googled, and then I found you. I can hardly believe that. It's like, oh my God, you find whoever is right for you. And then you connect and elaborate and grow within a community of others who reflect that ability to you. If your desire is sincere, you will find others who help you, and invisible beings will come and help you to resonate to a place that is at once here and there, connected to the eternity and to the here now.
Wow, is this actually, because you wrote this book, which was also, published, a chapter of which was also published together with Jack Canfield, right, the famous author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and you were talking about bending time-space. So for me, it's like, what? And some people in the audience might be totally familiar with this, but I think many are not, just like me. Can you share what you mean by bending time space, and and refer to the quantum physics, because this is really new for me.
All right. Yeah, you're referring to okay, so I can tell you the story a little bit which exemplifies what we mean. Let me just give the brief overview. The understanding that we have is that we live in a set 3D reality that has time as the fourth dimension. It moves, right? 3D is just a static moment in time. But with time, it becomes a living film. It becomes a living hologram. So time is actually one of the axes, the X, Y, Z, and time duration axis, right? Well, we as beings are a being that is superseding all of these axes. But the awakening process, when you awaken the intensity of your consciousness, you start affecting time space, and you start seeing the reflection of your thoughts more and more easily and more quickly, which is what that article, for example, is exemplifying it. In the book with Jack Canfield, let me give you the story. We were flying to teach a dolphin swim seminar in Florida, and my husband and I, whom I met when I was 21, were on our flight from Seattle to Washington, Dulles, Washington to Miami, and then we were going to take the car to one of the Keys. Flying over Dulles, we were put into a holding pattern. And the doctor, who's a pediatrician next to me, says, oh God, I know what's coming. We're going to be diverted to Baltimore. Sure enough, the announcement comes, ladies and gentlemen, we're sorry to announce, but we're going to have to fly into Baltimore. He says, like I told you so. The little video switch in front of us, diverted to Baltimore. He said, you have to get your luggage out, then there's no flight, you have to take a bus, then you have to recheck in and forget getting your flight tomorrow and forget showing up on time for your seminar. Like what most people do. He drew up the disaster drama story. Really, does that ever get us anywhere? If we know that we are intense consciousness beings, what do you think I want to project on my film screen? My success story, not my disaster story. So I'm like going, no, 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 no. I was reading a book, Time Shift. And she's like, yeah, you know, you shift time and you're a time body being, and the higher you vibrate, you know, you just choose the moment of time and space and the multiple dimensions of all that is. I said, sure, let me do that. It wasn't the first time I practiced, but it was so inspiring to hear her write about it with such certitude that I said, let's see this. I'm envisioning the success story. I arrive, but what did I want to be? Arrive in Dulles or arrive in my dolphin swim seminar? Mm-hmm. I'm asking that question because a lot of people think about the means to get somewhere rather than the end result. So if you have a goal, think of where the end result is. Focus on that success, not on how you think you might get there.
Yeah.
It was tempting to think I arrive in Dulles to get my flight on time, to go to Miami, to catch my car on time to get there. So I just visualized, nah, we're arriving everywhere on time and it's perfect and I'm arriving. But I have to admit, secretively, I expected to land in Dulles. So, you know, we're touching down, we're rolling, and I'm like going, dun, da, 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 congratulations, we are in the perfect place at the perfect time. We're in Dulles, I'm sure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Baltimore. And I'm like, my experiment failed. Well, I wasn't deterred. I said, no. You remember the I Dream of Jeannie? That was my ideal. I said, no. Wiggled my nose. What did I do wrong? I said, God, I'm so sorry. Actually, to realize that we might have made a mistake is a really important growth step. Whether we have wronged a person or wronged the universe, I asked, what did I do wrong? And instantly I got it. I had congratulated myself ahead of time. This is what most people do. They go, I have unlimited amount of funds. They pull out the credit card and then they go shopping. And then they go, okay, so where's the money? It's like, no, you wait until the universe proves you that you've got your wish fulfilled. Or the car drives up. I had people teaching this course, Living from Vision. They actually did that. They did that trick. And it's like, I want to have that car. And after 3 weeks, they get a call. It's like, there it is. It's in front of your house. Anyhow, back to my being in the airplane. What had I done wrong? I had congratulated Dawn before the end of the day. And that was not the right thing to do. It's like patting myself on the back for success that wasn't there yet. I said, I am truly, truly sorry, dear universe. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. Okay, they got it. They trusted me. They believed. I really meant I'm sorry. It really takes some sincerity, you know? And it's a dialogue to this invisible, who knows what, who's listening. Once I got that step, I said, well, you know what? Isn't it kind of a lot of waste of energy for United, for all these luggage things that have to be shipped and people and, too much effort. It's not just for my own benefit, I said. Wouldn't it be a lot nicer if, we're taxiing to Baltimore at Terminac, the docking station. We're taxiing to there, right? Wouldn't it be much better if right now we were like where I can catch my flight in the next hour to go to Miami? And you wouldn't believe it, but I got the feeling that the universe agreed.
Okay, cool.
And when I had that feeling, I said, I am like Dorothy in the Americans relate to that story, clicking her heels. I am no longer in Kansas. It's like I am in the right place at the right time and I can catch my flight to go to Miami. Yes, I'm in Dulles, Washington. Yes. We park, the doors open up. Mind you, the video had shown all that. They say, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I was just informed we are in Dulles, Washington. That's when I congratulated Dawn. Now it was the right time. Perfect timing. Bending time and space is not necessarily something woo-woo. It's simply what I did, even though I did it wrong in the first part, is being in the end result ahead of time. It's how you maneuver time space into your presence, right? So experiencing success in advance is similarly, here's your image of success, right? And instead of it being always like this far away, like a carrot in front of a donkey, you move into it.
Yeah.
until all of you feels it. And when you can conjure up that sense, and I wrote a million stories in all my different books, just to create that magical trust that miracles are possible for mortals like us. Your focus determines the intensity with which you dial into time space.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just my will, it's everything. And it's always better to surrender to a greater divine will.
Yeah.
Other than, otherwise I would get like, yes, this is what I want, but then there are consequences. I go, this or better. So we wound up, got out, got to our next flight, arrived on time, and everything was perfect. It exemplifies, and I can give you the 3 steps. So where do you want to go? This could be a small goal, like I want to lose 100 milligrams or 100 grams of whatever fat a day. It could be I want to lose 10 kilograms. It could be I want to make $1 million. It could be 3 or 10 million. It could be I want to have this job. My secretary, who came to our place decades ago, and said she'd like to interview for a packaging job. She's like, well, what do you guys do? And then we explained to her, and she went home. She said, I can do that. She sat down and said, I have that job. I am in that job. They want me. I can feel it. Dear God, if they can really make use of me, make it happen. In her Catholic way, right? She got the job. She was like understanding the principles just by taking a quick glance at what we said. So be clear on what you want. Feel it. Envision it, but mostly feel it. The universe is listening. Create success in advance as a felt blueprint around you. Enter and bend time space. Become the future now.
I love it.
The more you are in alignment with your true soul essence, and the more you can say, and dear God, for that or better, and you align with a higher force, that higher force is like a huge reservoir coming your way, working with you to bend whatever it is in alignment, because you've given up your personal will and allowed divine will to flow through you.
I love it. And it's, it's what I'm doing with my clients without the whole thing around all the time. Yeah, because it's so powerful, right? When you feel that you arrive where you actually want to be, and you feel it, and the focus is so different. And I love the divine part around it because it makes it so much more powerful. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's such a great story also. I love it. Yeah, Dallas. So next time I arrive somewhere in Dallas, I will think of you. Yeah. My plane is
Dallas in Washington, D.C. It's the airport, Washington, D.C. is called Dallas.
Yeah. Wonderful. We are unfortunately, Ilona, we're almost at, we're actually over time, but I have one more question. Yeah, it's incredible. I could also talk for hours with you. It's so interesting. You actually, and I thought this was so magical because I love dolphins. Yeah, and you mentioned it before. So you spent more than, I think, 1,000 hours swimming with dolphins in Florida and Hawaii. What have you learned from them? Can you quickly, share 2 or 3 really quick nuggets? That would be so great.
It's the same thing. Be in the future now. I looked for dolphins, always going, I know you're out there. So what am I projecting? I'm the light bulb. I'm having a film run. The film says dolphins are somewhere far away. That's where they were. Then I got the hang of it, and I said, no, dolphins are right around me. Dolphins were around me. But then I noticed Dawn had dolphins this close. I had dolphins always like 3 feet away. That was about close enough. I got a little scared. They're gigantic. They're like 3 meters times they're 9 feet long. Underwater, that looks even bigger. The ones, they're different ones. The ones in Florida, the ones in Hawaii were a little smaller, but then you have like 80 of them around you.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And I'd lived by a dolphin beach. It was one of those moments. It's like, I think I want to have a house like that. And it's like, you just follow your heart and your dreams, but train, be humble, make savings, don't live beyond your means, get the results, find out what you really are made of and prove it to yourself. And then you get the results, however long it takes. So the dolphins, Dawn was getting them this close, me this far away, after I finally had them around me. I said, what's Dawn doing that I'm not doing? Well, he thought this close was normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going, okay, this close is normal. You know, it's like this close is normal. And honestly, if you think $1 million is okay, is normal, but part of you goes like, oh God, you know, I mean, what is my father and my mother going to think? That part needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
That is the part I promised to tell you about, how to deal with problems. In an anxiety-ridden time like right now, we need to talk with our feelings as if they're like nuggets of gold and go, what do you really want? You identify the feeling, not somewhere else. When the dolphins, when that fear came up, yeah? I'll give you a quick rundown, yeah? Even when I sat in that airplane, that disappointment was a feeling in my tummy. The fear of these giant dolphins was a feeling in my, you know, butterflies were fear, you know, also in my tummy. So talking to your body, which doesn't lie, gives you anchors to talk with emotions that are negative in and of themselves. But when I asked my fear what it really wanted, guess what it said? That fear, which was like, you know, said, well, I want to feel empowered and powerful and strong around dolphins and that they're close. Wow, you want to feel powerful. Geez, what a way to go about it, you know, shivering. Oops, that I think I need to turn on a light.
Yeah, perfect.
So what, yeah, it's because the camera is going like, where are you? So the fear becomes a gold nugget. And when you communicate with your anxiety, your fear, your doubts, and that happens usually every day sometime, or anger or frustration, you go, oh, where do I feel it? You give it color, shape, and then you communicate with it. And you say, what do you really want? The emphasis on the word really. And it says, oh, I really want XYZ. And you go, oh, what would it feel like if you were time jumping already there? And it goes like, oh, well, if I was already there, I would feel great. I would feel XYZ. You know, and you enter the fulfillment for a moment. Not ignoring the fear, it's down there. You just go, ah, that's how I want to feel. Then you come back to the fear and say, thank you. You can give it a hug, say, do you want to become that now? I mean, see, look, this is what you really want, you know? And it goes, sure, why not, you know? And you have a new hologram in your subconscious, in your psychic body, in your chi body, in your superconscious body. And guess, and now the light bulb is shining through that super bright picture, a super bright reality shows up.
Yeah.
The dolphins came this close. I no longer reacted with fear because I had this imprint of I am strong, safe, and in the perfect place at the right time.
I love it. What a powerful story. What a great story, Ilona. This is incredible. Yeah, really, really. Ilona, unfortunately, we're so over time. Yeah, but you started to share your gift already, right? Your free gift. Yeah. And you also have a course. Would you really like to just share quickly with us?
Okay, let me do that. Yeah. Well, why don't I give you the two links. I'll give you the link for the free gift, and I'll give you the link for the Living from Vision course. You can take a look at it. And there you can see what is all in the content. It's super, super it's like $295. It's so super cheap. People have told me, please, Ilona, you should charge 10 times the amount. I say, how many pancakes can I eat?
I love it. Yeah.
Dr. Bob Beck, who was a dear, dear, dear friend of ours, a genius, an amazing researcher and scientist, always said that. How many pancakes can I eat? And he made devices available to transform depression through an electrical current that was, like he said, a 9-volt battery. You know, it's like, come on, help humanity. So that course takes you through 5 weeks with yet another app that accompanies you for 5 weeks, step by step. What you want to manifest, you're learning how to deal with negative emotions, have contact to your higher ideal self, your life's purpose, and how to deal with connecting to the higher source, as well as realizing your innate connection to the spiritual world, and how dreams and values and ethics all work together as a school for your evolution.
Oh, wow. Thanks so much, Ilona. This is incredible. People, if that resonated with you, you can find all the links, on in the email that you got. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
please connect with Ilona. Ilona, it was a pleasure to have you on the summit. It's incredible. You're incredible.
You too. Thanks you.
Thanks so much.
I love your enthusiasm.
Yeah. No,
Bye,
I
Alexandra.
felt so much energy. It's incredible.
Yeah, I loved how we connected.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. See you again.
Yeah, thank you, Ilona. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you felt the energy as well. I can't wait to see you again at tomorrow's episode of the True You Show. Connect to your higher spirit, feel the energy and make the most out of your life. Dream big and live in your vision. Yeah, we both believe it's possible. All the best and bye-bye. Thank you, Ilona. Bye-bye.